Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. In the glittering world of Chinese entertainment, beauty is celebrated, but it can also be weaponized. And now, two of Asia's most adored stars, Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi, are standing in the middle of a storm. Accused by their own agency of secretly altering their looks, they didn't hide, they went live and swore to millions that they've never changed a single thing. This is the moment that shook fans across the globe. The story began not with a public outburst, but with a quiet, almost invisible ripple that grew into a tidal wave. One morning, as the entertainment industry in China carried on with its usual hum of premieres, music releases, and brand campaigns, whispers began to spread across online forums. These whispers carried something dangerous: claims that two of the most admired figures in contemporary Chinese entertainment, Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi, had been hiding a truth about their appearance. The source, it was said, came from deep inside their own agency, Cool Entertainment. According to reports, a confidential set of documents had been leaked, each page suggesting in cold, matter-of-fact language that both artists had undergone cosmetic surgery, specifically altering the shapes of their noses. These were not vague rumors. The documents allegedly contained descriptions of procedures, dates, and even references to photographs and medical notes. In a matter of hours, the whispers turned into headlines. News outlets from Beijing to Shanghai picked up the story, and almost instantly, it crossed borders. Korean entertainment portals discussed it alongside the latest K-drama updates. Japanese variety talk shows debated it with a mix of shock and curiosity. Social media feeds in the United States, Europe, and Southeast Asia lit up with translated versions of the accusations. The speed was dizzying, a clear reminder that in today's interconnected world, a scandal does not stay in one place. For Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi, the timing could not have been more brutal. Liu's latest drama was topping viewership charts, his music career continuing its upward climb. Zhao was riding a wave of international attention for her new film, praised for both her performance and her undeniable on-screen charm. These were moments meant to mark the peak of their careers. Instead, they became the backdrop for a storm neither of them had asked for. What made the allegations sting even more was the cultural weight they carried. In the world of Asian entertainment, beauty is not just an asset, it is a currency, a silent contract between the star and the audience. To be accused of altering one's looks in secret is not merely a personal attack. It is an assault on authenticity, a suggestion that the person admired on stage or screen is somehow manufactured. For their fans, many of whom have followed their journeys for years, the scandal felt like a test of loyalty. For critics, it was fuel for skepticism about the glossy perfection of celebrity life. As the day wore on, the conversation intensified. Was this the truth finally revealed? Or was it a carefully timed smear meant to damage two rising icons? And if the documents were real, why were they surfacing now, when both stars were standing at the pinnacle of success? These questions, unanswered, hung in the air like a storm cloud, a cloud that was about to burst in the most unexpected way. Late that evening, when speculation was at its peak and the internet seemed to be holding its breath, Liu Yuning and Zhao Lusi made a move that no one saw coming. Without the shield of publicists or the filter of pre-recorded statements, they appeared together in a live broadcast. It was not a flashy production in the traditional sense, but it carried the kind of quiet precision that suggested every detail had been thought through. They sat side by side, the lighting bright and unforgiving, leaving no shadows to hide behind. The world was about to see them as they truly were, and perhaps as they truly felt. The stream began with a silence so loaded it was almost deafening. For a moment neither spoke. Then, with a visible steadiness masking the tremor in his voice, Liu Yuning leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the lens. What followed was not the defensive tone of someone caught off guard, but the raw, deliberate oath of a man who felt his integrity had been dragged into the public square. He spoke of his family, his career, the years of work that had built the trust between him and his fans. And then with unflinching clarity he swore, on all of it, that he had never altered his nose or any part of his face. His words did not feel rehearsed, they felt lived. Zhao Lusi's turn came with a softer entry, but her resolve was no less fierce. Her voice trembled at first, the kind of tremor that betrays the weight of holding back tears, but as she spoke, it gathered strength. She told her fans she stood before them exactly as she was born, unmodified, unaltered. Her choice of words was deliberate. She was not just defending her own image, but defending the idea that a woman's worth in the industry should not be tethered to manufactured perfection. The chat flooded with messages from viewers around the world. Some were expressing relief, others disbelief, but most were pledges of unwavering support. The viewer count surged, reaching numbers rarely seen for a live broadcast. For many watching, this was not just a statement. It was a moment of shared humanity. Two public figures stripped of glamour were making themselves vulnerable before millions. In that vulnerability, they turned what could have been a career-ending scandal into a rallying cry, not only for their innocence but for authenticity itself. Almost instantly after the live stream ended, the digital world erupted into a wave of energy that felt less like mere online chatter and more like a collective movement. Across every major platform, from Weibo to Instagram, from Twitter to TikTok, hashtags in support of Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi began to dominate trending lists. They spread at lightning speed, crossing borders and language barriers, uniting fans from China, Korea, Japan, Thailand, the United States, and beyond. It was as though millions of voices had found a single rhythm, chanting in unison for truth and loyalty. Fan clubs mobilized with remarkable precision. Within hours, coordinated campaigns were underway, urging supporters to share unedited photos and clips of the stars from earlier in their careers as evidence of their natural appearances. Longtime followers began posting heartfelt letters, recalling the first time they had discovered Lu Yuning's music or Zhao Lusi's acting, weaving in personal stories of how these celebrities had inspired them through difficult times. The comment sections became a tapestry of gratitude, outrage at the accusations, and a fierce kind of protectiveness usually reserved for family. In some corners of the internet, the discussion took on a deeper tone. People were no longer talking just about noses or cosmetic procedures. They were questioning the culture that constantly demands perfection from public figures, dissecting the way beauty standards and media narratives can be wielded as weapons. It became a conversation about trust, about authenticity, about the parasocial bonds that make fans feel not just like observers, but like participants in their idols' lives. International media outlets, picking up on the intensity of the fan response, began to frame the incident not merely as a scandal, but as a case study in modern celebrity culture. The sheer speed and scale of the reaction was staggering. Some analysts noted that the defense mounted by fans was so immediate and overwhelming that it effectively countered the narrative before the agency's claims could fully take root. For those who had tuned in to the live stream, the sense of connection lingered. They had seen vulnerability, conviction, and unfiltered humanity, and they were determined to protect it. In the end, this wasn't just about defending two beloved entertainers. It was about defending the ideals they represented. The internet had done more than react. It had taken a stand. Beyond the rumors, industry insiders note that the timing of this scandal is suspicious. Lu Yuning's latest drama is breaking records, and Zhao Lusi's new film is generating international buzz. Could this be an attempt to slow their rise? Whether or not the truth emerges in court, this moment has sparked a wider conversation. Should celebrities have to prove their natural beauty? Is the pressure to look perfect harming the very stars fans adore? And how can the entertainment world shift towards valuing authenticity over perfection? An unshakable message. No matter how this unfolds, one thing is clear. Lu Yuning and Zhao Lusi have turned an accusation into a statement of strength. They've shown that vulnerability can be a form of power, and that sometimes the most courageous act is to stand before the world, exactly as you are. If you found this story inspiring, don't just stop here. Subscribe to UpToText 24H for more powerful stories from the world of entertainment, where truth, courage, and drama collide. Thank you for watching, and remember, in a world full of filters, being real is the ultimate trend.